be all SEO based, right? It should all be optimized for the computers and the algorithms and everything to pick it up so it gets in front of more people. Because you're going to create your own hashtags. You're going to put hashtags on things. You're going to, you're going to hashtag so somebody else looks at it and maybe shares it. But once you said that to me, I was like, oh, that's it. It's over. The game over. Let's forget about it. Drop the mic. We're going home. Right. And I love that. So that's it, from a high level viewpoint.
Right. Well, I'm glad I could help you with that, because that is my strong point is, I love to research those keywords. I might be a movie geek, but boy, am I an SEO geek, the search engine optimization. And that just means keywords and key phrases for those who aren't familiar with that term. And, you can look them up all day long, but not, know which ones to use.
Right.
And that's because we're thinking of it from our point of view and what we would search, because we already know the industry and we have to think of it how other people do. So there's ways to look that up. I run reports and audits for people all the time and say, here you go. Here's what you should do. Here's what your competition is using. And you're not, there's a lot of research out there. And
that is so big. Like what you just said, like your competition, like they've already, especially like if they're big and successful, like we talk about modeling success, what is competition's amazing, because you can say, oh, they've already spent the time and the money to figure out what keywords work. Right. You don't have to do anything. You can see what works with them.
Yeah. If you've got somebody, a really big competitor, and you're a small business, I do that all the time as I look those up. And even though there's free tools out there to do it, my clients don't know what to do with that list, because, if you're looking up Walmart, you're going to get a bunch of words that have nothing to do with you. No. So you have to pare that list down and say, okay, these work. I can't just use the one that's bringing everyone in from Walmart to me, because I don't have what Walmart has. So you have to pare it down. It's time. It's always time. Marketing is time. So that's where, people like you and I come in as a fractional CMO. You can consult with them and tell them, here's how you look at that. Yeah. I can do the same, or I can just do it for them. So we have very similar services that way. And another thing you said, and thank you for the little, bump in my expertise. I'm going to hold on. I have to write down that quote right now to make sure to put that into our content. So yeah,
I mean, what we just talking about, you take that piece, right? Because now you have a testimonial from me on your show that you can put on your stuff, and me giving you giving you props, right? Like, it's amazing.
Right. That's right. And, because that's what I was going to say, when you have something like that, a quote that's, I'm not speaking in keywords. I wasn't like, well, when I talk to Jeremy, I'm going to say this word, but you have to speak to your audience. But guess what? You have to speak to Google too. And I use Google because they are the search algorithm, but you're also speaking to the Facebook algorithm. You're also speaking to the LinkedIn algorithm. You're also speaking to the Twitter and the Instagram and whoever else popped up today as a social media. So these algorithms are constantly changing, and these algorithms are not telling you when they're changing. So as marketers, we have to constantly watch them and go, oop, there was a dip. Why? What changed? And we have to find out. So these are things that, professional marketers can help you find those steps. Once you've got that strategy, a lot of these strategy things that you're telling me about, by speaking to the search engines and speaking to the customer, you're kind of getting around those changes a little bit. You may see dips, and everyone will see dips. It's not because you did something wrong, but it will help you get around those, because people are still searching those words. Those words haven't changed for your industry that fast. So there's a lot of things to get through those changes that make my life so interesting as a professional marketing agency owner. So
we have to be findable, right? I mean, that's the key. People have to be able to find us. And that's what we're talking about, is how easily can somebody find you? We can get out, we're talking about talking in front of other people's platforms, on other people's platforms, to their audience. But what about the whole world out there? We're trying to have every kind of advantage we can. And you got to be searchable, you got to be findable, and then you got to be relatable, right?
Absolutely. And then that's what it really comes down to. So, you said that strategy, you said you need a map, right? And I was thinking strategy is the map, obviously. And if you've never been there before, you can't draw the map.
Right.
Right. So, there's no way to just say, okay, we're going to go this place. This is my end goal. And so I'm going to try to figure out how to get there with a marketing strategy, but I've never done this before. So how do I do it? So that's where these steps come in. That's where you're, working it like a movie marketing experience, model movie marketing masterclass. I love the alliteration, matches the podcast. We'll have to use that.
Right.
So, I think that's an amazing thing. So how did they get this offer, first of all, from you? And then we're going to talk about the webinar.
Yeah. So for me, it's easy. If you go to goldenoctopillar.com/movie marketing, you'll be there. And I actually have it to register for free. You can get in there and you can see a version of it for free. And then, like you said, there's a VIP page, which, I highly recommend everybody take that offer. It's nothing. Like, I mean, the value is extreme, but the price is nothing, but you got to check it out to see what it is.
It is. I was very impressed with it, which is why we started talking about this, because I was like, this is a great way to look at it. This is a really great way to leverage the idea. And, I think the steps are simple to understand, and you've got somebody walking you through them. You've got the guide. You are their Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
You didn't know you're Obi-Wan, but you're Obi-Wan. So webinar. So name to be announced. That's going to be coming up this week on my pages and Jeremy's pages. But the webinar is going to be something where you come in for an hour with us as a small business owner, and we basically together walk you through creating an entire strategy outline and get you started in that hour. You're going to walk away with the beginning of a strategy in the outline. And we're going to give you the tools to understand what those steps are. And then, we just give you some of our expertise, basically, and answer some questions. That's going to be February 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And we're going to be putting that sign up on our pages. Starting February 8th, which is the day that this podcast starts. So if you're listening on the 8th, get over there. Be the first one in. I'll send you.
This is going to be awesome. I mean, this is our two worlds. Like you and I were talking, I got this going on. You got going on. I'm like, oh my God, what if we put this together? Right.
Yes.
And like you said, people are going to walk away with the strategy, executable, like they can do this. And, we're putting it out there, and
we're not giving you a half-built bridge.
This is not a half-built bridge, and this
is not going to be a half-built bridge.
Information. Yeah, exactly.
It's 90 minutes of let's get you from the beginning to the end so that you can repeat the process and, get the basics and understand why you're doing it. And that's important because this is for the people who have never done it before. They've never been there before, so they can't draw the map to get there. We're going to give you the map.
Do not suffer like I suffered. You do not need to.
Well, that's what basically we're doing was we're both coming and going, don't do what we did. Right. I had to learn marketing by, as I said, the seat of my pants before YouTube was a thing. So, as it came out, there started to be more and more videos, but I had already, figured it out by then. YouTube is great, but you can't learn everything. The learning curve is too hard. So let us help you kind of supplement that with real steps and real guidance. And that's going to be
live.
February 18th.
You can ask questions. Like we'll be there. Like, you can ask the questions and get your answers.
That's right. That's right. And I will probably make jokes, just be understood that's something you're going to have to suffer through. And also, maybe the dog will bark like he is now. So
maybe a kid will come bashing in on the door and come in. Oh, wait, no, they'll be at school. They'll be in school. We'll be good.
That's right. Well, we've talked about that, and I've talked about this in the podcast in Zoom. It's perfectly normal to have the cat walk in front of you or the kid walk in and go, I need to talk to you right now. I don't care that you're on social media and live. That doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So February 18th is the webinar. It's free of charge, but you got to register so we can get you the workbook and get you the information. Name to be announced. So you'll see that on the 8th. So come check it out. Yes. Jeremy, how else can they find you?
The easiest, best way is Golden Octopillar. Put that into your search bar, but you can go to goldenoctopillar.com. That's the base of everything. You can go to the Golden Octopillar on Instagram and Facebook. And there's no other Golden Octopillar out there. So, type it in and you'll find me, and because of the movies, you put my name in the search bar and all kinds of stuff pops up. I'm like, I'm not in a hidden world.
No, you're on IMBD, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
So that's like automatically you're now my coolest friend, I think is how that works. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. So just kidding. All right.
But hey,
so
we can be friends. Come to the webinar and we can be friends too, right?
yeah, that's right. You can all be 2 degrees away from George Lucas like me now. That's
right.
really all that's really the only reason that I even like you, Jeremy. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah, story of my life.
So yeah, so definitely come to the webinar. Definitely leave a comment on this podcast. Let us know what you learned. And we will see you again next week. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Whew, another great episode, another great conversation. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And I hope we brought some value, a smile, and an aha moment to you with this episode. If you head over to my website, LizaSivekMarketing.com, you can also join me at my next workshop, How to Make Your Marketing Do More in Less Time, geared toward 6-figure business owners, or those who want to show up higher in Google results and get more marketing bang for their buck. Come find out how, plus tips and tricks on making your marketing more Google friendly in this workshop. You can register at LizaSivekMarketing.com or via our social media links. See you next time.
You've been listening to Marketing Myths and Magic, part of the Xvadio Podcast Network. You can catch this podcast as well as the rest of the network at xvadio.com/podcasts, as well as the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts.